And so thank you for coming and for and my name is Estelle Ebenga. I'm a choreographer, dancer, creative mind from deepen in North France. And I created the company iLondzo in 2019 with my first solo piece, which is called Inner Blossom. It's a solo where I mix dance and slam poetry. And it's a story of a woman in her 30s and looking for herself and also going through and the experience of being a woman and a black woman in today's society and Western countries. And I really wanted, when I thought about this piece, I already thought about the second piece. And I said, okay, it's a trio, I don't want to be all the time alone on stage. And I thought about the trio, which is now Inner Blossom, because I always imagine, complete roses, sorry. I always imagine the woman as a flower who blooms every time at every stages of her life. So the first part is Inner Blossom, and now it's Complete Roses. And for Complete Roses, I imagine this as a trio with Iman Gele and Sandra Roberts, my two friends. They will introduce themselves, and then I will introduce you the piece and the story behind hip-hop freestyle, and Iman will do an introduction about hip-hop and how it's deeply rooted into black culture and African culture. So, quick introduction of you guys first.
Hi, I'm Iman Gele. I'm a Berlin-based artist. I'm a dancer, choreographer, host, organizer, etc. I'm Berlin-based, I said it already. I hope you enjoyed the piece. I will just go and give it to Sandra.
Hello everyone, so I'm Sandra. I'm also French, but based in Amsterdam already for 10 years. I dance house, but I've danced a lot of different styles, very happy to be here.
Thank you, and sorry I will read my speech, but it's for you really to understand what we wanted to share with you and what we want to express for this piece. So, the story behind the piece is that the myth of the strong black woman is exhausting, and we deserve softness and peace of mind. It's about reclaiming who we are and our power, and finally we are choosing ourselves. In this piece, I'm using the concept of freestyle as a key element, a tool to finally go back to ourselves, and by that we find each other to move forward and blow through the struggles. I use hip-hop freestyle as a way to communicate with our bodies when our words are not enough and when there's no words left. But also I use slam poetry because when our bodies are exhausted and we're close to the edge, we need to scream and be really heard. Because society always made us on a survival mode, we're always surviving from something. We have rare moments of full peace as women, as black women, but we know it's possible within a circle and our communities to reach that peace of mind. Being black and a woman is an experience like no other. And in everything I do, I want to explore and highlight the black experience and the black woman experience. And this is what hip-hop is about. It's about elevating our communities and our peers. This piece is really about sisterhood and creating a safe space for people that understand us, that know where we are going through, people who can relate without judgment or distance. And though we are different, we share the collective experience and trauma through institutionalized classism, colorism, and ageism. I really wanted to use slam poetry, spoken word, in the piece because the oral tradition is really rooted in Black and African cultures. It is really a form of activism and expression. It is a cultural weapon. Like during the Harlem Renaissance or later with Black Lives Matter. Also, as African women, African storytelling has deep roots in oral tradition where stories were passed down through generations by word of mouth and, as you may know, through the culture of Rio in West Africa. So for me it was obvious to use spoken word in the piece, even if we are not poets or rappers. For the dance part, hip-hop freestyle is a common element that connects us. It is a universal language that everybody can understand. It is improvisation through the music. It's about how you navigate through and how you express yourself. It is a communication, a way to have a conversation. I feel you when I bounce. I feel you when you groove. And I know what you are going through. It's about healing together. It's a conversation through dance. Hip-hop freestyle is really rooted in Black culture and Black history, and it's about Black freedom, but also Latinx and minorities' freedom. It comes from pain and how do you bloom and create yourself despite the obstacles and the hostile environment you are living in. We grow out of the concrete, and hip-hop is about being a concrete process.
Maybe you give it up again for Estelle Ebenga, please. I have to do a little bit interactive because I cannot sit. Just quick behind the scenes story. Estelle just brought us together and Sandra and we didn't know each other. So it was really nice to work with Sandra as well, and also with Estelle, because I know her for a long time now. And they're like big sisters to me, and it's also nice to work with Black women abroad Europe as well. That's really interesting. Also that we managed to rehearse together, do residence together in different countries. That was really, nice. Thank you for that. So maybe I will go by myself to the computer. I will just want to ask you some questions because we want to be interactive, it's about hip-hop and it's about dance culture in general. So I'm not speaking like the teacher in front of you and just da 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 da, and you're gonna go out and say, oh, I just forget everything. But no, we're gonna learn together a little bit about our Black dance culture and our so-called underground dance styles that we used to know. So maybe for you there are common stuff like contemporary, for example, ballet, stuff like the classical dance and stuff like this. We come from the underground, so underground dance is rooted in Black culture. So what do you think is behind the meaning Black culture? Yeah, just interactive, just, scream it out. What do you think is the meaning of Black culture in general?
Connection.
Connect?
Connection.
Connection. Okay. And when we think about the history?
Resistance.
Way of coming together.
Way of coming together, yes.
Resistance.
Resistance, yes. And why do Black people need to resist?
Oppression.
Oppression. Okay. And we go back in history? Okay. Segregation. Okay. What else? I need another word as well.
Slavery.
Slavery. Thank you. So, slavery. So when we think about our underground dance styles, when we come to later, we talk actually only about the African American Black dance culture. So, why do you think we have to talk about African American Black dance culture? And why do you think it's African American?
Well, because that's where slavery was in the Great Fund, and that's where the
They're just African Americans because they're black. Right? Right. Okay, so we're gonna continue. So, black dance culture, easy, is just the meaning of African Americans got enslaved and brought to America. And in America, they have like, later on, the most resources to spread out the whole stuff what they invented there. So, started from dance, started from clothes, started from music and stuff like this. They had better resources to spread out into the world. So that's why in history, we don't know anything about African Asians, for example. We don't know about European Africans a lot, what they invented here in Europe. We don't know a lot of, what else is happening? We don't know a lot about America, just because they have resources. Okay? So go to my laptop. Okay, so in the early decades, in the 20th century, the first dance style was jazz. We had Lindy Hop. You know when they were in the, just to have the picture in your mind, when they were enslaved going to America, they were all in boats, because we had only boats back in the days, right? We don't have S-Bahn, ECE, we didn't have planes and stuff. So they were all transported in a boat, and they had to, it was really, really close and really, really tight. So just to have less feeling of being robbed out their human being and human existence, they tried to enjoy and how you say it, and enrich themselves with some good feelings. So they started to dance a little bit in their chains with their hand on. So they had no space on the boat, for example, and they started to invent some dance steps. They started to invent some, some movements just to feel something, because they didn't have anything to feel at all when they were enslaved and transported. So some stuff that is documented is like stuff like Lindy Hop, like jazz dance, and also the story back in the days, it was also segregation happening in America. So in the TV, you didn't see a lot of black people on the social media, so social TV and stuff like this, and also not on newspaper. So at some point, then the black dancers or the black entertainers were there for entertainment. So then they said, the government was like, okay, let's go put them on TV for entertainment. So then they started to dance a little bit on TV together just to entertain the white public. So jazz was shown, we had, I said, Lindy Hop already. And then we continue with some funky stuff. Do we just steal this? We step it forward. I had to be really hurry up because we're going to jam as well, so I have to hurry up. So then we invented a little bit during the time. In the 60s, beginning of 70s, the funk era started. We had, we had some locking. So we had a so-called TV show called, who knows it? A TV show? What again?
Soul Train.
Soul Train. Who said it? Okay, you're a nerd. So, Soul Train. So, Soul Train was invented for entertainment as well. And it was a possibility for black people to get a platform to show their style, to show their talent, what they can and what they can do. So locking got invented. Also you see here the young Don Catalog, one of the inventors of locking. Clap. Yeah, and he died later. Yeah. Sorry. But yes, he did a lot of stuff for the community back in the day, so next slide please. Is that sound? No?
Right here.
So to go quickly into the history again.
You can rotate. It's from the joints. Kind of freezes motion with the music. One step is the lock. It's locking you on. sitting there, he said, man, yeah. He said, come on, man, let's see you draw. Come on, go. I was still shy. I said, okay, you know. Then I came over to the other table, and you know, I sat next to him. I just became a
Okay, so I told you in the beginning, they started to invent, back to the boats, they started to invent some steps, right? And then meaning for them. And so on, it just developed. Some people started to invent their own styles. So there was like government conflict, there were police brutality due to segregation, due against black people. So then people came together just to canalize their anger as well. Again, we just had the word anger like later on as well, all the time. And always resistance against the government. So then people just came together and they just invented some dance styles. They had meaning for them and like dance moves. So each dancer, like Don Campbell lock, for example, he had invented the lock. So the lock, to lock something in. Okay, so when you see dancers, they lock sometimes, or they wrist roll and stuff. So they had invented basics just to the meaning what they felt in that moment. So in that era as well, they were like the gangsters, you know. The mafia movies came out and stuff like this. You just see people in big suits standing there. Actually, they just wanted to catch a girl on the street and stuff like this. This was just a dance style, just to impress ladies. Okay? So we're gonna continue, and then afterwards. So, this dance style called nowadays popping and has different variations. This what you see is called electric boogaloo. There's also a crew from California. They also dance blocking, they also dance breaking, or we can also later. So, just to continue and follow up our underground dance styles that you see all the time, we started with jazz dance, Lindy Hop, etc., the old stuff, and then we continue with locking, popping, and then we continue with breaking, and then afterwards came hip hop. So, please. Yeah. So, you see it, hip hop? So, in that time, again, we are still in the 70s, in the early 80s, actually. So, still, government didn't change. Still, police brutality against black people, segregation, you know, Black Lives Matter. Then the civil rights movement starts. So, we're going to continue on in history. So, each history card, like from the 50s, 60s, beginning on, every decade has its own dance style almost. And parallel, this is everything, besides now breaking and hip-hop. Popping and locking is started in the west side of the US, so in California, and in Los Angeles and stuff. Then, on the same time period, hip-hop and breaking, so breaking became before hip-hop, so breaking and hip-hop was started in New York, in the Bronx, okay? So, thank you. And then on the same time, actually as well in New York, in the 70s, in the early 80s, they came like, we had a huge problem, like the people there had a huge problem, not me, they had a huge problem of the LGBTQI plus community. They had no rooms to go, they were like, they got, executed?
No, excluded.
Excluded, no, excluded, and they had to hide themselves in the clubs just to feel safe and also accepted. So then the next dance style developed stuff like voguing. Who knows voguing? Oh, okay, everyone knows voguing. Voguing is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it was actually for the LGBTQI plus people, also for like a lot of trans women, black trans women especially, Latinx trans women, just to not hide their identity on the streets. So they went to the club at the night to just be themselves. And they just started to wear some dresses, they were dressing up, they were sewing their own clothes actually, and then they started to copy the Vogue covers. You know the magazine Vogue? Yes. So they started to it. So they just started to invent a new dance style. But, you know, not everyone has a new dance style. Actually, they get also inspired by the dance styles before. So, for example, if you think about the old way, they have like the martial art, straight arms, da, 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 da. They got inspired by the popping dances, for example, because they have also the straight lines, da, 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 da. Okay? You're like, what she's talking about. No problem. We're going to continue with whacking. It also developed in the disco era, so also in the clubs. So in the clubs, then again, a lot of people from the QI class community, also a lot of women actually. This time we said women, so we're going to come later to the term later. So in this era, they started also beside the voguing dances, there was something different, not the same. People think it's the same, but it's not the same. So voguing is played on house music, electronic, and stuff like this, and they have also some break beats. And whacking is played on disco music. So they have the fast arms. Okay, so you see people do like da, 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 da. This is whacking. Okay, so they're gonna whack. I can do it, so it's okay. So, and on the same era, actually, like 5 to 10 years later, house dance came into the club. And house dancers were actually on in the same dance floors like voguing dancers as well. So they shared the dance floor together because they had the same music. Right? Yes. Okay, nice. We're gonna continue to hurry up a little bit. Yeah. And then, you know, hip-hop, I always said hip-hop is like, you know, we dance hip-hop. Hip-hop is also in the 80s, like just dance style-wise. It also invented in the Bronx, in New York. So it's the dance itself came later than house dance, but it was actually already in breaking a little bit. Because when you had like the break dances, they had like the top rock, and the hip-hop dancers use it later for the hip-hop style to invent it later. You can Google it later. So, and then we're going to start in the 21st century, there comes something different. Again, in Los Angeles, on the west side of the US, there's also, again, police brutality, government shit happening, brutality against black men especially. In Los Angeles on the streets, people going crazy. White people against black people, crazy, crazy, crazy. And then there was a guy, Tommy the Clown, he just started to keep his neighborhood safe and his children around him safe. So he started a new dance style, clowning. He wanted to just entertain his people around his neighborhood, just to give them some hope for their future, not to end up on the street or not to to die on the street actually because of police brutality. So he took care of his people, but these children, they get also older, and they had another need besides being protected. So they invented a new dance style called crump. So again, we have the emotion, anger. Because of anger, because of the injustice, and because of the not being treated equally as other people in the world, or like others, and also being always in the frame of the otherness, that's why they created the dance like crump. Crump is really special because it's like a lot of emotion, and I know a lot of people now in the audience, they took my workshop yesterday, and they know how hard it is to canalize their own emotions and their own feelings, and don't have to talk about it, and just to show it through their movement. Also, other dancers, the crump is like a little bit more special, I would say, but this is like, yeah. I'm biased, because I'm the crump. So, this was like a really quick history run-through. And for me, it's just important to let people know this kind of stuff, to always mention that we are all guests in this dance scene. I consider myself as a black woman, as a guest in these dance styles, because this is not my life reality, it was not my life reality, and it will never be my life reality. I'm not an African American, I'm an African woman living in Germany, and that's why I have so much respect for the people which they went through and what they're still suffering, and I don't have the same experience. So I'm here, I'm really safe in Germany, so that's why for me it's really important that people know where the dance styles come from, that they just do their research. It's like just a little insight of what I just, it's just a little insight. If you are interested in the dance styles, we have a huge community of each dance style. We have a lucky community coming up again. We have a house dance community, we have a hip hop community. Here's the DJ also sitting, for example, DJ Fizito. Also spin some nice songs later for a jam here. So please keep up. And also we have a lot of people organizing the events like Nasty, she's organizing the Outbox Bee on Sunday. So we have a lot of people in Berlin doing a lot of work for the underground dance style. So if you are interested in it, just don't go on YouTube and do your own stuff. Just text people on Instagram, it's the newest form to connect, Or just go to the people when you see them on the streets, dancing, talking about it, and then communicate with each other. But please, for you to keep in mind, please respect Black dance culture. Thank you very much.